But if I was your girl.
Oh, we're doing this. So, hello. Welcome to the first episode of I Can't Call It podcast. And I'm your host, Bleu. Some call me Blue by the Sea, Blue Magic. I don't know. It's giving blue nerves. So I'm here today. I'm starting something new. This is new for me, right? So just to give you guys a little bit of background on me, I am a single mommy to a very bright, energetic 8-year-old little girl named Chloe. She's amazing. And I have been master of a lot of different trades. I got my bachelor's degree in communications. Then I ended up going to cosmetology school after working in corporate for a couple years, and that didn't work out. And from cosmetology, I ended up, dabbling into makeup, and then I ended up dabbling into a little modeling. Been doing creative content probably before it was called creative content. I probably started my journey into like the internet space like back in '09, and I've just been kind of tussling around, figuring my way out. I currently have a corporate job. My job is it's really good, but I know and I'm grateful for my job, but I feel like now it's time for me to move into a space of really doing something that's going to challenge me. The name I can't call it, right? So I am a Libra, okay, and we are stereotypically known to be indecisive. And I was having a hard time coming up with a name, and I was like hitting all my girls up when I was thinking about starting a podcast, and I can't call it. So I can't call it. It just stems from girl. I don't know. We're figuring this out as we go along. I can't call it. So everybody felt like, yeah, Britt, that's the one. So that's why we're doing it. I want to take you guys on this journey with me of self-discovery. I want to share with you the things that are helping me. I want to share my lows. I really want to promise to give my most authentic self in doing this. I never saw myself sitting in this space right now being able to do this. I just thought like when you did podcasts, it was like, girl, you got to do this with a team. A lot of podcasts I follow is like a pair, it's a duo, it's a trio, So me doing it by myself, I was just like, nah. When I did even came across like, Britt, you should start your own, I was like, nah, it don't. But we're gonna get into a lot of the things. So yeah, I'm giving it to y'all unfiltered. I'm giving it to y'all authentic. My goal with starting this podcast, I don't have no particular niche. I'm talking about anything and everything in the sun that moves me. Wherever the spirit leads and moves me, that's what I want to cover. That's what I want to talk about. I want to really, create a space for us where we don't always have to agree, but we can learn about each other. We can learn to respect each other. Kicking off the first episode, of course, it's just me. But in the future, we will have guests. That is my hope and prayer. Like, have some guests on to touch on some things. But yeah, what honestly brought me to this space was attachment, right? So a couple months ago, I decided to take a little leave of absence from social media. In the past, I've done it, but it may have been for a couple of days. But like, I literally took time away from all my socials. And really worked on being present. And in that time, that's, through, a couple people that I, talked to, and, people have mentioned to me before in the past, I decided, okay, I'm enough, because I never felt always like enough. I always felt like success meant you had to be attached to something or someone. So I was doing all these things, trying to be a part of all these different things. And I just had to get to a space where like, Britt, you are enough. and I want us all to grow and learn like our voice matters. We are enough. Even if I literally if only one person gets it, then I feel like I've done my job. And that's what I'm trying to move into the space of. So y'all, I'm figuring it out, right? We figuring this out together. And I want to grow my tribe through this. I want to My purpose in this is finding the tribe so we can grow together and we can figure it out together because we can't call it. Okay? So we figuring it out together. So I have my handy dandy notebook, and so I'm just gonna get right into the topic that I felt moved to kind of get into today. And the topic is turning rejection into redirection. Okay. Moment of transparency, rejection, right? That has always been, even up to now, I'm in my 30s, it has been something hard for me to deal with. It has stagnated me in my growth. It has caused me to self-sabotage relationships, purposely avoid people, purposely avoid certain situations. It has caused me to dim my light. Oh my God. And like my girls know, like I have this thing, like if I like a guy, I will literally crush on a man, be crushing on him for months. I won't even let him know, like, hey, I like you. And I probably let a lot of people pass by because I was so in fear of them not feeling the same way or not seeing me. And I have to realize, like, girl, put it out there. Like, if you like somebody, let them know. Like, and I'm doing this with y'all, right? We figuring this out together. And I was trying to figure out, like, girl, where does this rejection stem from, right? A lot of our things stem from our upbringing, right? And I really feel a lot of my rejection started in the home. Not to say like my parents were amazing. I feel like parents do the best they can. I had a very great life. But I felt like a lot of times, especially my mother, I felt like I really wanted to make her proud, right? I really wanted to do the things so she like, look at Brit, look at what Brit's done. So I've always like put these like expectations and these unrealistic standards on myself when trying to like appease my parents. And I found myself carrying that into my adult life when I went to college, when I, moved out on my own. And it's just not realistic. I'm coming into a space where, okay, we're gonna have to learn that at the end of the day, rejection is a part of life, right? No matter how small or how big. We can't let the no, and when I say we, I'm talking to me still, we can't let the no stop us from, forging ahead and moving forward. So, like, I'm just like, I'm putting myself out there. I'm putting myself out there to ask for the things that I need and don't take no. We're looking at no as redirection, right? That's the thing. So my whole mindset now is that, delayed, not denied, right? And also that wasn't for me, right? Being okay with that wasn't for me because I'm in a space in my life right now where what's for me, I feel like it's not going to be forced. I'm not going to have to fight for it. I mean, yes, it's going to take work and consistency, but I feel like what's for me, I shouldn't feel anxious about it. I shouldn't have to question it, right? So I'm learning, like, when that door closes or someone tells me no or a situation doesn't work out when I thought was in my favor, it was supposed to happen that way, right? It was only going to lead me to something greater. It's only going to put me in a space that I can't see, right? That's faith, right? I'm not trying to get all preachy, okay? But that's what it is. And that's where I'm growing. That's the space I'm working and praying and growing to. Don't let a no stop you. Don't be in fear of asking for what you need. I literally, before I started, I did my affirmations before I got started. And, one of the affirmations that I repeat is don't feel like you're a burden when asking for help. Don't be afraid of someone telling you no. So like that's the space I'm really thriving, and it's a working process. Also, a part of that rejection would lead me into comparing myself to others, right? A lot of times unknowingly, looking at someone else and seeing what they have. And my mom used to teach me this all the time when I was younger. And when I was younger, I didn't really get it. I'll be like, oh, Mom, oh, girl got this pair of shoes or this outfit at school. And my mom was like, you don't know what they had to do to get that, right? So stop comparing. And it was so simple, but it's so true. I had to stop comparing my space, my journey based on what other people had or what I thought other people had. Because when the lights are out and behind closed doors, you don't know the work a person had to do to get the things they do. Or you don't know how miserable they are possibly with the things that they have. So stop comparing yourself and your walk to other people. I'm just trying to stay in my own lane. Okay. Um, but with rejection, I'm learning ways of overcoming. And some of the ways that I'm learning to overcome rejection is understanding that it's not going to go away, right? It's a part of life. It's going to be here. It's going to build us up, right? And the thing is learning how to navigate through it. So the worst thing at the end of the day someone can tell you is no, or that's not it, or sometimes it might come from a hurtful place, being rejected in a very hurtful, negative space, right? But my thing is like, it's okay to be disappointed, right? Sometimes when you talk to certain friends, of course, naturally, or your mom or whoever you talk to, then naturally their instinct is build you up, girl. Don't worry about it. Keep it moving. And I'm in a space like, I'm tired of the roboticness, and I get it, right? And it's okay. Our natural response, I do it too. Your natural response when somebody comes to you hurting or disappointed is to tell them, girl, don't worry about it. Girl, don't got it. Just keep your head up, chin up, 10 toes down. Yeah, that's all good. But I really want to move into a space of, and I'm working on this for myself too, sometimes let a person vent, right? Now, it's different if they're habitually coming to you venting, but sometimes it's okay to be disappointed. We're not taught that. It's okay to be let down and have those feelings. Allow people to express their disappointment. Yes, we want to fix it and put a band-aid on it, but sometimes it's okay. It's okay to be disappointed. And that's the space I'm moving into. I'm okay. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to feel slighted and your feelings hurt. We have to allow people to feel that feeling, right? Give you a moment to feel it. Don't always try to fix it. But the thing is, we just don't want to lean into the disappointment, but don't stay in it, right? Because that used to be my thing too. Like a friend, I immediately want to come and fix them, lift them up, and that is great. But sometimes it's okay to tell your friend or whoever's coming to, like, girl, I know you're hurting, and that's okay. Feel that hurt. We have to, for so long, I used to numb the hurt, through drinking excessively, going and giving myself to a man, and, feeling like being a sexual prowess or whatever was gonna, like, get me. No, all you do is you keep numbing those feelings, and then when it hits you, it's gonna hit you hard. So I think it's important to give yourself. I remember I was watching, it was a long time ago, Lord. Oprah was talking about the movie Beloved and how it was, she was disappointed because when it came out, it didn't do as well as the expectations that they had for it, right? And she was saying, she remember that weekend she made like a pan of macaroni and cheese. And she was like, she remembered before the weekend was over, she ate that whole pan by herself. And then she said after that weekend was over, she made a choice. Oh, I'm getting chills. She made a choice to be like, oh, y'all, my stomach growling. I ain't eat yet, but I'm going to eat the whole and get some water. I hope y'all don't hear that. But she was saying she was disappointed about, how she thought the movie should have went. The numbers didn't do as well as they thought. And she said after the weekend, she made a choice like, I'm not okay. I gave myself those 2 days to be disappointed by it. I'm moving on. And so that's something that kind of started sticking with me. I didn't always practice it, but I kind of give myself that. So like if I have something that didn't turn out, I give myself time to grieve the situation, because any type of loss, I don't care how small or big, you have to grieve it, right? I allow myself to be disappointed. If I find myself being sad, maybe, okay, Britt, it's been a week, it's been a couple weeks, you're still stuck. Okay, now I'm going to reach out and get the resources I need. So a part of it is also speaking up. If you have a supportive friend that you can come to. I recently got into therapy. I found an amazing therapist, and that's a whole nother topic. It took me some time to find a therapist that I felt I matched with. So I might have to set up a therapy session. Whatever you have to find it, but don't sit alone in it for too long, right? So that's what it is. And also, outside of what's for you won't miss you, remember that accepting what I thought I needed, right? Sometimes God is protecting us, right? The things that you think you need and want, and you're like, oh, I have in my head mapped out. As you know, God laughs at our plans. Sometimes you're being protected from something that you think you want and need, right? So I started looking at rejection as that, like, oh, I might have saved myself for something way massive, something that probably would potentially hurt me or set me back. So those are just the things. So y'all, we're gonna have different segments. So the segment that I want to get into is what's on your playlist. So a little bit of background. I am a music lover, die hard, right? My day starts with music. Throughout my day, I work from home. I'm listening to music all day. Music has been a big part of my life. My parents, they come from that generation. My parents were born in the 50s, okay, 1950s. My dad was born in 1944. My parents are up there, right? So we had a record player growing up. I'm like in that generation, like, right, like I'm like somewhere, girl. I sit between analog and digital, okay? So I had the best of both worlds. So my parents listened to music. My mom loved gospel. We listened to jazz on Sundays. My dad liked P-Funk. Everything from Billy Ocean to Diana Ross. You name it. Isley Brothers. My mom grew up, she grew up in New York. She listened to the Beatles. She was there when all of that was going on. So I'm thankful for the ear. And then like all my big cousins, my older sister, music was a thing. I remember when Snoop Dogg first album came out, my sister had her Toyota Tercel ride me around. And then we were blasting that. So I was a little girl. My sister is much older than me. So I'm so grateful for the influence that music has on me. So the segment is going to be what's on your playlist. So I'm listening to a lot of different stuff now, but when I was coming up with the idea for what I was going to talk to you guys about, definitely music is my therapy. So at the time when I was going through the things and figuring out what I was going to talk about, what was on my playlist at the time? So y'all know Kendrick Lamar, released his album several months ago, a few months ago now. It was released back in, I want to say May or April. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, right? Oh my God, album is amazing. First of all, I'm diehard. I love me some Kendrick Lamar. Since Section 88, like, listen, I was on him, right? So we all love Kendrick, no matter what time we came into knowing him. Everybody I know got at least, even if they don't really listen to Kendrick Lamar, everybody got at least a few Kendrick Lamar songs they like, right? So tying into the tying into the topic of rejection, right? So the song that when I was like offline and I was in my fields and I was going through things and being present, one of the songs that really resonated with me, I have two. I love the whole album, but two songs that I was putting on repeat when I was going through my process: Rich Spirit, and the lyric, "A bitch, I'm attractive, can't fuck with you no more, I'm fasting." Whew, that hit different, right? So that rejection, that situation didn't work out, this relationship that ended, whatever. Okay, now I'm healing and I'm knowing my worth, right? And I'm doing the things to know that I'm enough. And I know that I love you enough to love you from a distance, and that's okay. And it doesn't make me any better than you or you any better than me. Maybe we just can't be in this space, right? And that's okay. And I still love you and I can still respect you, but I love you enough to know, like, I can go back, I can take a step back and get back to grit, right? So, once again, what is for you will not feel forced, and trust that you are enough, right? So another lyric I like from the song was, "More power to you, loving from a distance." That kind of ties back into the same thing. Sometimes you have to know what relationships are worth fighting for, and sometimes that is kind of tricky, right? I just feel like I'm in a space, if I'm not breaking myself for people who don't bend for me. And I'm learning sometimes you put your boundaries out there, right? You don't always have to understand someone's boundaries to respect them, right? And I feel like when somebody can't respect your boundaries, okay, it's time for you to just let it go. I'm not going to go back and forth with somebody about what don't understand. And sometimes I may be the person, I may not understand what it is for you, but I am going to respect your boundary. It's the respect for me, right? And having peace and letting go. Whew, that's still one I'm working on because I can get petty. Like, letting go is hard for me. I want to get it out. I want to be like, see me, get what I'm saying, right? So letting go is hard for me. And sometimes you have to let go in situations where you might can't get the last word, or you might can't get the explanation that you feel you need. So letting go. Another song that I liked was Count Me Out. Oh my God, I get moved almost to tears sometimes when I'm going through and I listen to Count Me Out. He says, this time around, I trust myself, please everybody else but myself. All else fails, I was myself. I get emotional because I'm in a space where I can no longer shrink myself to fit someone else's narrative. And I've been doing that, and I have done it for a long time. And the people pleasing, right? Please everybody else but myself. I am a recovering people pleaser. I like harmony and balance. I'm an air sign. I like to have that. But I'm learning, like, at the end of the day, if everybody likes you, then you ain't doing something right. I'm sorry. You're not going to be for everybody. My girl Toya tells me all the time, you are not for everybody. And that's okay. And I used to I want everybody to like me. I want everybody to get me. I want to make everybody feel comfortable. I'm moving out of that space. You're not, everybody's not going to like you, period. So I feel like I wasn't being authentic trying to please people and try to appease people. And you do all these things to please people. And then when they disappoint you or they don't extend you the same grace, then you feel slighted, right? So we're no longer walking in that energy. I am moving into a space of being unapologetic, okay? I will apologize when necessary, but I'm not going through all the things just so, you can feel good. And I'm not feeling good, right? So that's that for what's on your playlist. So the next segment that I will be moving into is called We Salute You. So We Salute You is pretty much, I want to shout someone out. Baby, my stomach is grinding, y'all. Okay, I'm hungry. I feel like the mic is picking up the sound. But we salute you. Gotta stay on topic because your girl goes on tangents. Y'all work with me. We Salute You is gonna be a segment where whenever I drop the podcast, I can't say weekly, I'm trying. We want to shout someone out that I feel is making an impact on the culture, on the community. They are doing the work, and I just want to take time to highlight someone to let them know that we see them and we appreciate them and just want to give them their flowers, basically. So this week I will be saluting Alexandra L. She goes by Alex L. She is a writer and a creative based out of the Washington, D.C. area. She's a poet, wordsmith, beautiful affirmations that she speaks and shares with her platform. She's a mother, three beautiful daughters, and she's a husband. And she's a husband. Excuse me. And she has a husband. So she's an author. Like I said, she has several books. One of the books I think I purchased was After the Rain. Encourage. She has a ton of books. Her upcoming release is gonna be called How We Heal, and it's on pre-order. It's available for pre-order right now. It goes on sale November 8th of this year, 2022. And I discovered Alex L years ago. I found her, she had a blog at the time. And at the time, I didn't have Chloe at the time. I wasn't a mother yet, but I remember at that time, it was her oldest daughter. She was a single parent. And, she would share things on her blog, just very authentic, share her poetry. She would share her journey. I think when I found her, she literally had like a 9 to 5 and was doing this on the side. And now she has built this great, beautiful community. I check out her Instagram often. If you know, check her out on Instagram at AlexL. She speaks life and she speaks words of affirmation, and you know, she's very transparent in her journey. She also facilitates workshops. She has virtual workshops, in person workshops that she has, and you know, working on building self, healing self. You know, I love the work that she's doing. I've watched her grow, and I'm so proud of her. Such a beautiful spirit. Definitely someone I feel you guys should check out. Beautiful woman, beautiful spirit, beautiful soul. Like I said, if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about AlexL, what I said is just a very concise version. I could go on and on and on, but definitely check out some of her books. Oh, she also has, forgot to say that, she also has journals that she has, her self-affirmation journals, and different things like that. So definitely check her out. I love what she does. I'm so proud of her and watching her journey and watch her grow and just always being her authentic self with us. Check her out, like I said, at AlexL on Instagram. I'll have her information here. If you're watching on YouTube, I will have her information. Her website is alexl.com, where you can pre-order her upcoming book. And she also has a podcast as well. Check her podcast out. It's called the Hey Girl Podcast. So shout out to AlexL. We love you and we salute you. All right. So we are coming to an end. If you made it to the end, I thank you. And I just want to sign off with our last segment. It's going to be called Put It in the Air. Okay. And basically what Put It in the Air is going to be is us transmuting something. So we're gonna, every time we get together, you find something, I'm gonna speak something, when my guests come on, I'm gonna have them speak something, but something that we want to transmute, something that we want to let go of. That's Put It in the Air. So what am I putting in the air this week? I am putting in the air that I can't do it on my own, that I'm not enough, that I have to be attached to be successful. That's what I'm putting in the air. So once again, I'd like to thank you for checking out the podcast. Follow me. Right now, I'm gonna be real, I don't have my social set up for the podcast yet. Please forgive me, but check me out right now. You can check me out at Bleu, and that is BRITTBLEU. And you go to that page. By the time y'all listen to this episode, you would definitely be linked to the socials, and you check my personal page out. I will have everything linked about the show, keeping you in touch and updated with what's going on. And yeah, I'm so happy to be doing this. I'm so proud of myself, y'all. Y'all don't know. It took me a lot. It took your girl. This is a process. Figuring all this out was a process, and I'm so grateful to have done this. I'm so happy. Episode 1. And I hope you come back, and I thank you for listening. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye. Is Chloe awake?
You know I hate sleeping alone.